Previously on Masks and Martyrs.
The party is currently attending the Teppler Masquerade, the first masquerade of this season. The party re-encountered Anastasia Manata.
Young man, why is it that you are with Lady Anastasia?
I have been in love with Anastasia Manata since I was a boy. She never looked at me. But then my father tried to kill every landed noble in the duchy. Suddenly she would call on me. We would take tea together. It was what I survived with.
I happen to know some people, though, who collect people who are looking for a home.
You see Anastasia, and she just sort of turns back and smiles at you, Ethel, and she says, I was wondering where he got off to. Thank you for keeping an eye on him for me.
Speaking of keeping an eye on people, she would like to look around the room to see if that dragonborn that Monty is so worried about is around.
Brika, you see Osiris. She's over talking to the Lord Erwin von Teppler. A now familiar figure just kind of seamlessly drifts into the group, and Anastasia, she lowers her voice and pitches her words so that you can hear it, but not Alfred. And she says, we'll need to have a talk later. Just a forewarning. Okay, yeah, so everybody sits down, and once y'all sit, it seems like everyone else sort of almost as one, within the span of 10 seconds, everyone is seated. It's a little eerie, honestly, just how ingrained practices and customs are within this group of people. Erwin von Teppler stands at his table and he says, well, I think we've waited long enough, so dig in. All of these servants enter at the same time in this almost choreographed movement, weaving in and out of each other, dropping the different courses as they go. And that's sort of they're just moving throughout in this very almost complex choreographed pattern as they bring the different dishes to people. So my question is there anything that y'all want to be doing during the meal proper itself?
I would like to see if there's any way to check if my food is poisoned.
Give me a medicine. Yeah, probably medicine.
Yeah, because I have detect magic, but I'm not gonna sit and open my book at the fucking dinner table. That was a 12.
If there's poison here, you're not sure what it is. If there's poison, I mean, I think you assume that if there is poison, it's probably exceptionally discreet poison. No one's gonna pull the green vial with the skull on it and
I know.
And go.
Suddenly, Monty turns into a llama.
Oh man,
supposed to be dead.
That'd be a twist.
If Monty's food was poisoned, then wouldn't he just fall over and then his ring would just stabilize him anyway?
Yeah, probably. That's fair. I hadn't thought of that.
It depends on the effects of the poison.
That's true.
Alright.
Depends on how fun I want to be.
Yo, I want to know what table Osiris is at.
So Cyrus is at is the Von Teppler.
Yeah,
table.
I gotta ask about that. I've got some questions for my girlfriend.
Why are you hanging out with my mom so much?
No.
What, you mean Brika? No, not Brika, my other mom. You know.
Reagan? No, the other mom.
No, I have a lot of moms, okay, Lynn? Get off my back. I'm feeling a lot of things right now.
I'm actually going to use that as a conversation starter with Osiris later. So how do you know Lynn? Anyway.
Yeah, anybody else have anything they want to be doing during dinner?
Probably just keeping an eye out for any weird activity, but again, mostly trying to lay low right now.
Wisteria, give me a perception check.
Oh no.
I do want to point out that when someone says, I want to keep an eye out for things that are weird and happening, just me asking for a check is not
it doesn't mean anything. It's just, okay, how well are you keeping an eye out?
I just don't want it to get to a point where it's like, I just don't want to get to a point where like every single time I'm like, roll a check, it's just like, oh
Something's gonna
no,
happen.
a check.
Yeah.
Ethel is just not on her game tonight. Because it's an 8.
Oh no.
She's in character.
She's very
She's
in
getting
character.
into character.
She's busy interrogating Saria on her new friends.
Yeah, okay, I can do that.
So sorry, I gone back to the emblem table.
Yeah. Sorry, it's in a young noble's debut. It is important that they are somewhat still like linked to their family because that's sending the signal.
Yeah,
That, like, they are
Reagan
in
is
good
going to
graces.
keep one eye on the goring table just in case.
Okay, sure. Yeah, okay. Reagan's right there. Yeah,
Perception check to see if Lady Cynthia Goring is gazing back at Saria like
Furtively.
perhaps she has a crush or a bosom friend of some sort.
That's an insight check, I think.
Fuck it up.
And
Got
Reagan,
plus
give me
9 to
Reagan,
insight.
Reagan, give me a perception.
Nat 20! What? She rolled a nat 20 on finding out if Ellie has a crush. Let's go.
Or is just very excited to be friends.
Yeah.
Either way.
I think that with a 29, was it? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a high number.
Plus 9.
I think that you are able to tell that Ellie seems very pleased with how that interaction went, especially since just like from what you've seen of the nobles in Hintilla, especially young noblewomen, there's a lot of effort is put into establishing a pecking order and establishing like a one on top of the other. And so, from what you could tell, it seemed like they were genuinely conversing and getting to know each other, which is not something that probably either of them are or get a lot of from their peers, if that makes
Wow,
sense.
actual conversation.
I imagine that Saria's sort of blunt awkwardness would just remind Ellie of her own family.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you talk kind of like my dumbass siblings.
Yeah. Let me tell you about my dumbass sibling. Wait, I don't have any.
I am an only child and the cousin of Lord Goring and Lady Goring.
If I had siblings, I imagine they'd be like this.
You remind me a little bit of my dumbass personal guard, who looks kind of like me for some reason.
It's weird. She's a dumbass.
Have I mentioned she's a fucking idiot? And Tara's like, I'm just happy to be here.
Reagan just, aww.
Reagan, did you do perception check for me to see keep an eye on that table?
Like, she is keeping an eye on that table, and she doesn't see shit because I rolled a 4. I'm not even going to add to it.
Let me do something real quick. That's for that. That's for that. Ooh, okay. Sort of throughout the night, there's been kind of like ambient music, sort of ambient like strings, a small but pronounced sort of pit or like a little orchestra pit, and things begin to swell very gently at first, and as they do, the attention of the room sort of passively begins to shift over towards the dance floor, which again is kind of clear to this point of people. As this sort of begins, everyone's kind of like looking back and forth to see who's going to make the first move in terms of the dance. They're being kind of subtle about it, like no one's like gawking around like, who's it going to be? But there's very clearly like a who's going to be the first actor in this scenario.
Can I casually glance over and see what Lynn's doing?
Oh, she's looking at you, like, very pointedly.
Kind of tilt her head at her, like, yeah, you wanna? Like, yeah.
She turns a little red and just, like, nods very quickly twice.
Okay, Monty gets up and confidently crosses over to Lynn and offers his hand.
All right.
Brave boy! He's doing so good!
If there could be a silently audible gasp in the room, that's what goes out.
Someone drops their tiny fork.
Little tooty.
Thanks, guys.
You reach Lynn, and as you approach at the table.
Oh shit! I just remembered Cyrus is at this table.
Yeah, she's there, Dad.
Monty has that realization too, like walking over, like, yeah, I gotta dance with Lynn, and
That's
Monty,
our brave boy!
Dumb motherfucker.
I love him.
It's fine. This is fine.
Erwin and Elaine are there. Lynn is just... You can tell that she wants to, like, get a lot more excited, but she's, like, keeping herself contained. Aldo is just, like, kind of sitting next to her, just, like... So, like, there's a bowl of walnuts, and you see him just, like, crunching them in his hand as you approach, just break. Erwin looks like a little concerned, and he leans over to Elaine and whispers something which you can't hear it, but it may be, should he be dancing? He just got shot by an arrow.
I'm fine, bitch. It's good. I prestidigitation to my clothes. I'm good. I don't know mending.
So there's still a hole, a little tear in this chest.
It's good. Let's do this. I got 38 HP.
But Elaine kind of like puts her hand on his like elbow, and she like leans in and whispers something to him, and then he kind of nods a bit and smiles at that. Also at the table is that kind of like hard bitten, like rough and tumble looking dude. It appears to be sort of like part of the Von Teppler entourage. You have not gotten his name.
Is it Bartholomew?
It is Bartholomew.
Okay, I don't know him, but yeah. No, I did see him talking with Cyrus, but I still don't know who he is.
And then next to Bartholomew is Cyrus, who's kind of just watching you. She has this look on her face, like something's in the tip of her tongue. She doesn't quite know what it is. And she's just like, like something,
If she hasn't figured it out yet, that's her fault, man.
I'm not saying anything else about that.
Okay.
But you arrive at Monty. You arrive in front of Lynn Von Teppler,
and I bow very, very deeply and offer my hand. May I have this dance?
She like opens her mouth to say something, and she can't quite find the words for a moment, and then she says, "I would very much like that."
And away we go. He helps her out of her chair.
So you lead her onto the dance floor. Now, normally I would give you advantage on this performance check, but I do not believe that Monty. I believe that Monty learned how to follow, not lead. Montague Pensmith, will you roll it before the eyes of the gods and all of Hintilla? Will you roll me a performance check?
Lynn, are you going to hate me if I step on your feet?
She gives you just an incredulous look, and she says, I think we're a bit past that, Monty.
That's fair. With a bonus, that's a 19.
Nice!
Ooh.
That's our twink!
That's my boy.
Yeah, Lynn's great at it.
Yeah!
Of course she fucking is!
Well, she's, like, Wisteria taught her, like how to, like, all the manners and etiquette and stuff, and that's where her bard level comes from, and so she get that good rolls. As the music begins, you begin to lead in a traditional sort of dance. Nothing too risque, nothing too over the top. But this is sort of how I'm envisioning this, and you can tell me if this is sort of how Monty would do it. I'm envisioning this as a waltz.
Oh yeah,
just like a very kind of like graceful, like turning waltz. As you're dancing, or like what you notice after the first couple of steps, once you're certain that okay, this is good, it's happening, it's working, okay. You notice that Lynn just has the biggest smile plastered over her face.
Aww. Honestly, I could do this all night.
She blushes a little bit and she says, "I'm sorry. I don't really. Normally, I'm more clever than this."
What have I? Have I stolen away your words? Is that what this is?
No, I have my words, Monty. It's just they're not coming right now.
I have them! They're just in Canada. You wouldn't know them. They go to another school.
She says, you're still okay after the. I mean, I know we talked, but I feel like I've seen you get hurt a lot, and that's not really something that I want to see very often.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's just you're always doing all these grand things, and I'm worried about you most of the time, to be honest.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's just
that I do understand, but I hate to make you worry, but I can't imagine not trying my hardest to keep you safe.
She gets a little misty-eyed.
Oh.
She's sort of quiet for a moment, and she looks down, like at your feet, and then you can sort of tell this. Lynn is an open book with you.
Yeah.
She just sort of to sort of change the subject. She says, "You're a very good dancer."
Thank you. I am making it up as I go along, frankly.
Well, it's going very well.
While I have your ear, in a somewhat... I mean, are there a lot of other dancers around us, Andrew?
Currently, it's just y'all.
I was gonna say,
Shit!
you were the first. I'm pretty sure it's just you.
The first dance is just the people dancing. Like, that's just science.
While I have you.
She turns bright red at that.
Poor Lynn. That ring is... Well, first of all, it's practical.
You're so lucky that Hortensia doesn't just, walk on.
God fucking damn it,
dance floor.
Hortensia.
By herself, because Gralla's home with the kid.
Yeah, Ethel, you can get, every fourth word as they turn.
Yeah, she's like, what's going on?
I'm just imagining Ethel running around the perimeter of the ballroom trying to read their lips and
Just
mid-run.
orbiting her like a vulture.
Ethel's fucking Naruto running, when no one's looking.
Ethel's trying to read their lips, and all she gets from Monty is, "Have you?" And then sees Lynn turn bright red, and is like, "I will kill that son of a bitch!"
She's just
Murder him.
Die, Montague Pensmith. Die.
Anyway,
The ring
Anyway.
is practical.
The ring, it's practical. It does actually carry a shield spell in it, so it can keep you a little bit safe, even if I'm not nearby. But, like I said earlier, before we were so rudely interrupted, it's a promise. The promise is whatever you want it to be. I'm yours for as long as you'll have me. I don't know if it were a little... If there were a few fewer eyes on us, I might ask you to marry me tonight, but...
oh my god!
I don't think... I think your dad would kill me.
When you say that, she stumbles, her feet miss a beat, and she has to recover for a minute, and she's just and she just says, "Mr. Pensmith, this is hardly the time or place," but her grin is so wide, her smile is so wide at that.
Never know when I'm gonna catch you. You never know when I'm gonna ask, but I'll do it properly. If you would want that.
She at that, her face flashed a little annoyance, and she's like, "Auntie, when are you going to stop acting like I'm not in love with you?"
It's not that you're not in love with me. I do understand that. Believe me, I'm not blind. Thank you.
Oh, so I'm being obvious, is that it?
No. You're just teasing me. No, what I mean is, I sometimes wonder because it was a feeling that I used to have. If you feel like you're always in control of a situation, and I don't want to do anything without your permission, ever. Does that make sense?
She nods. She says, I will warn you, though. You may have made the first move, Montague Pensmith, but the threat remains as well. You never know when I'll catch you, and I'll be certain to do it properly.
God, I love you.
At that, the strings, the orchestra, sort of reach their crescendo, or other music term, and the song ends.
Yeah, whatever. Music happened.
Music. Wait,
I agree, Andrew. That's what I was thinking too.
Where's Danny?
I don't know how this
Danny,
works.
say a music. Say a music. Is an onomatopoeia a music?
It's an onomatopoeia.
But it ends, and everyone begins to clap. And normally after the first dance, the partners break away from each other and they bow and curtsy. You two linger a little longer than a pair normally would, but then you do, and everyone gives some pleasant applause as different like people begin to come on to join you on the dance floor.
Reinhardt cuts in.
No, actually. You feel a tap on your shoulder, and Erwin von Teppler's there, and he says, would you mind if I had the next dance with my daughter?
Of course, my lord.
As he kind of gives you like a smile and a nod, actually. Like he seems like, all right. As he kind of like partners up with Lynn for the dance, there is a voice behind you which says, would you be so kind as to honor me with a dance, Mr. Pensmith?
Okay. Well, first I'm going to turn around and see who that is.
Oh, yeah.
Do I know that voice?
Oh, it is Anastasia Manata.
Aw, shit.
Oh, shit, that's so much worse than what I thought it would
Yeah,
be.
I thought it was Osiris.
I assume we
Same!
see this?
What? No, yeah, Reagan, you can see this.
Yeah, Reagan's gonna turn to Rufus hey, wanna dance? Because she is now very worried about Monty.
Yeah.
I guess.
Cool, let's go.
Okay.
It's like, we gotta protect our boy!
He doesn't really get it yet.
Monty bows deeply. He doesn't really miss a beat. He just bows very deeply. Of course, milady.
As the second starts. Reagan, I do need a performance check from you.
This will be fun.
Please don't make me do another one. Do I have to do another one?
No, I think we've established that you know how to dance Hintilla.
Okay.
You know how to dance
Yay.
dance the wild Hintilla.
Well, Reagan rolled a 7, so she doesn't.
Rufus got a 6.
Oh, let's show these kids how it's done. They practiced.
This is with practice. No, you did practice, so
Okay.
let's do advantage.
Okay.
You did set aside downtime in the course of the
Yes.
week to
Okay.
specifically practice.
That is a 13 then. That is a little better.
Rufus got a 3. Well, no, because his higher was a 6, so Rufus is not a good dancer.
It's okay. That neither one of them really is, and it's gonna be hilarious, and I wouldn't have it
You
any
know what?
other way.
It's fine. They can just do the like middle school
middle
way.
Yep.
but like aggressively swaying over towards Anastasia and Monty, like.
Sway towards Monty, just like.
Jesus.
It's fine.
The dance begins, and Anastasia says, I must say, you're quite the dancer, Mr. Pensmith.
Well, thank you, milady. So are you. I'm sure you have much more proper training in it than I do, though.
I wonder about that. I understand that we have not exactly been on the best terms of late. I believe that we could come to an understanding.
An understanding.
Yes.
Would you care to elaborate, milady?
What do you think of when you see Hintilla?
A large jewel in the crown of the Amanor Empire.
That is how they would like it.
I mean, yeah, that is how they would like it, but, you read enough about a place in books and in fairy tales and all of that sort of thing, and you pick up a perception of it even after you're on the ground there.
It's true. Now, granted, I am far past the realm of fairy tales, Mr. Pensmith. We do not live in one.
But wouldn't it be nice?
Oh, perhaps, but I believe we're a little past that here. I assume that you're aware of most of the information about the job that I hired you for.
Yes. I'm aware that you asked one of my friends to do harm to somebody who's very important to me.
I did. I wasn't certain she would do it. It's hard to... Even for me, it's hard to predict these things, but...
I mean, honestly, Rika's a wild card.
She is that indeed. But I want you to know that I have no ill will. I want you to know that I have no ill will. None towards your little band or to the person close to you. It's not... I do not do these things out of malice, Mr. Pensmith. I want you to know that.
You do them out of want of power.
I do them out of the good of Hintilla. Mr. Pensmith, the Aminor Empire is crumbling around us. Every year, it spirals closer to ruin. They would drag Hintilla into the grave with them if they can. I will not allow that to happen.
Are you suggesting secession?
That is all I've been suggesting these last few years.
It's not a bad idea. Hintil is such a large city that it could easily rule itself. It has plenty of, I'm trying to think of fancy words that Monty would use. Domestic output. Gross domestic product. That's what I was trying to think of. To support itself.
She nods and she says, there are many reasons that we should stay in the Empire, but there is only really one to leave. That is to become our own people, to control our own destiny. I know that you and yours are not exactly fond of me, which I understand. I have not established myself as someone to be fond of.
Lady, to be fair.
I know. However, I believe that I have pertinent information to you and yours, but I would need something in return.
And what would you want in return, my lady?
That is for me to decide, Mr. Pensmith. I would need an oath of yours. I would need you to make a binding pledge. But I guarantee you, Mr. Pensmith, you'll want to know this.
This is quite a proposal in the middle of the dance, you see. Says the guy who just proposed to his girlfriend in the previous dance.
I assume Reagan can't hear any of this. She's just keeping an eye on him.
No, around this point, if Reagan, if you've been wanting to muscle in here, I think
she's just keeping an eye on it because if she, seeing if she's gonna move. I don't think
it doesn't want Monty to get stabbed.
I don't think Reagan's interested in what Anastasia has to say. To be honest,
That's fair. Sure. So she's just sort of continuing the dance and waiting for your response.
Lady Manada, in all good conscience, I'm trying to do what is right. What I believe to be right. And no matter how many ways I spin it, anything that you could tell me, I feel like I've said it a lot tonight, that under different circumstances, the people that I've met here, perhaps we could have been friends. I like to imagine You and I don't know, debating politics in a library somewhere.
Not to be presumptuous, Mr. Pensmith, but that sounds like a declination.
Lady Manada, I am afraid that you will ask me to do something that I think what you will ask me to do will be something that causes me to renege on our promise. I don't want to put you in that position, and the consequences of me not going through with whatever it is that you ask me, lady. I don't particularly care about what happens to me, but what happens to Lynn?
She's quiet for a long moment, and she says, "And that's your choice?"
If I say yes, will you have the, if you're planning to kill me here, will you give me a good minute's head start?
She looks almost a little pained, and she says, "I'm not going to kill you, Mr. Pensmith."
Oh, but somebody else will.
There's a little amusement in her face, and she just says, "Men like you think you're so important, that all the world revolves around you, that everyone's plans are contingent upon it."
No, I don't think anybody's plan is contingent upon me, or whether I live or die. But
And yet you think you are important enough to be killed.
maybe not in public like this. I did get shot tonight.
Like,
So we just bring that up again.
clear.
She says, "And I'm certain that you will again before all this affair is over.
I'm sure I will.
I just want to say, Mr. Pensmith, that I did try. I want you to remember this moment. When I offered
Lady
you
Manada.
an alternative, and you declined. And at that, the dance ends. She releases your hand. She curtsies,
Monty bows deeply.
and she says, "Thank you for the dance, Mr. Pensmith."
Thank you, Lady Manada.
Yo, Ethel, what you doing?
Thank God. Please go ask Ethel. I have to go have a cry now.
Oh gosh. Well, Lord Limter ruined all my plans, so...
Murdering everyone?
murdering a couple people in particular, but... So I think frantically trying to regroup and figure out what I'm doing.
Alright.
I'm gonna go ask Lord Limter to dance.
Okay. Okay.
Cute. Yeah, since his girlfriend went and asked fucking Monty over here.
Right?
Yeah, okay. So you go over to... Are you doing this in the first dance? Or I mean, like in like the first, like, general dance, or after that?
Probably not, like, immediately, but... Yeah, once
Okay.
more people start getting up to dance, she'll just kind of, make her way over there.
Okay. Sure. He's kind of like you can tell that he's like kind of watching like the Anastasia Monty dance, and like he's not hard to read.
Yeah.
And he very clearly just looks like, oh, okay,
Oh, no.
I guess that makes sense.
Actually,
Yeah,
Actually,
I'd
I kill
apologize to him if I
Actually,
could.
I kill him. I kill him right there.
Put him out of his
Actually-
misery.
can I bring Saria with me?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm not going to be able to ask Saria to dance.
That's cool. I got this. Ethel's got this. Saria, I'd like to introduce you to someone.
She says, "Oh, you're, I mean, sorry, and then she goes to, like, curtsy. And you have tried to teach this girl to curtsy.
Yeah.
She does not know how to curtsy.
No,
God, how you
she really
tried.
should just be bowing and just call it a
And-
day.
And, Alfred, like, didn't quite notice y'all were there until you got close, and then he's sort of surprised, caught off guard, and sort of, like, steps up quickly, and you realize Saria is a solid 2 inches taller than him,
Yes!
which neither of them realized when she was sitting and he was standing.
Right.
And so there's kind of like each of them has like a recalibration of like, oh, how, and he says, Alfred recovers more quickly, and he says, Lady Emblem, I haven't. I believe. Apologies. I don't believe that I introduced myself to your niece.
Yes, this is my niece.
I love him so much.
Lady Saria Emblem.
He deeply bows, and she kind of like tries to curtsy again.
Just kind of have a hand on her shoulder, like trying to keep her steady.
Yeah. And he says, to what do I owe the honor? Do I owe the honor?
Well, if you'll forgive an old lady her meddling, I thought it would be quite lovely if you would dance with each other.
Saria just like her eyes just rocket towards you, and just like, you did not warn me that this was going to happen. And he kind of Alfred sort of like is in a moment where he's kind of like you can tell he's about to say actually and then he looks back over to Anastasia and Monty dancing and talking in hushed tones.
Yep.
And he just goes, That sounds lovely.
Yes!
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lord Nimta. It is a bit of a favor you are doing me. Helping Saria with her debut.
He shakes his head. He says, it is not a favor to take, to escort a young lady during her debut. He kind of stumbles over the last few words, but the sentence, he's trying to get back into, he hasn't really been in the game for a while. He's trying to get his instincts back.
Well, that's just lovely. You two have fun.
Saria looks like still like a little like kind of taken aback the whole situation.
A little murderous towards her aunt.
A little like auntie, why are you like this? Why are you like this, auntie? He offers her his arm and she takes it and they go out onto the dance floor. And sorry, I can't dance.
Oh.
Apparently, Alfred is a great dancer.
Yes!
He's a good lead.
Make her look good.
He's a good boy.
He's doing his best. He's doing his best. Yeah. Anything else you want to be working on right now, Ethel?
No, just kind of keep an eye on Anastasia, what
Okay.
her reaction might be.
Okay. Brika. What is Brika doing?
Brika is watching Sosiris at the Von Teppler table.
So Cyrus is staring at Monty this whole time. Just staring. Like, not taking her eyes off of him.
Then Brika is going to get up
Oh
no!
and go to the Von Teppler table.
Okay. So as you walk over, you're walking over, and the closest one is Aldo, and he's just sort of like he's just kind of like been glaring over at Monty until he sees you, and he's like,
God, the entire Von Teppler table is looking at Monty.
well, yeah, everyone's looking at you, Monty. You gotta get over that. And he kind of like does a double take with you, and he's like, Aldo does, and he's like, do I know you?
I believe we've met.
Yeah. That's right. You ice dancer.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
Yeah. How you been?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to figure out like how much is too much. You know what I mean?
Too much what?
Well, like on both ends, like like, how much is too much in me being protective, and how much is too much of your boy over there cozying up.
Oh, Monty, he's fine. You don't have to worry about him.
It's the ones that you don't have to worry about that you have to worry about. That's how they get you.
Brika is like on the borderline between like annoyed and amused. She's like, what are you insinuating exactly?
Oh, look, all I'm saying, my sister, growing up, just read books. Read books. That was fine, you know? I get that. She reads books. I get that. Then, this fucker shows up, and she's doing all these longing stares and these sighs out the window on rainy days, you know? She's like, furtively going off to the right. Yeah, I know that. But like, I gotta make sure that nobody else hurts her, okay?
He got shot so nobody would hurt her.
Yeah. I understand your concern, but, I mean, take it from me, I think she's in good hands.
Roll me a persuasion check, Brika. Roll me a persuasion.
That is a 13
Plus 3.
16.
Okay. He kind of chews, like, as he kind of chews over, you can see him kind of like just grinding on the inside of his cheek for a minute, and he just goes, I don't have to like it, though, you know?
You know, it is difficult sometimes to watch people that we care about grow up and change and make their own choices, but it is a part of life. And, you know, you really should give Lynn more credit. She's a smart girl, she's very strong. She can protect herself, first off, and secondly, she can make a good choice when it comes to who she spends her time with.
But he's just like so small, you know? Like,
He's so short.
Like, he's just... Look, forget it. I mean, you're right. You know, you're right.
Yes, of course I am right.
But if he tries anything, and I'm still gonna keep an eye on it, okay?
Brika's like struggling not to laugh in his face. Okay, you do that. You do your duty as the big brother.
He nods at that, and he's just like, and he kind of he drains his glass of wine, and he like starts like walking towards the dance floor, and just like the nearest like young noble, he just grabs them and is like, hey, let's dance.
I feel like Reagan and Elba would have been really good friends in another life. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for coming to this week's episode of Masks and Martyrs. This is your producer, Diana, and as always, we have some housekeeping to take care of. So, first of all, if you're enjoying the show, we would love if you would tell a friend about us. Next week is our finale. It will be a 2-part episode. It's 2 episodes, 1 session, and I am going to do my damnedest to release them both next week. So the first of the 2 episodes will be coming out on Wednesday, and then the second will be coming out that Friday. So I really hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you have enjoyed the season so far. We'll be taking a break for a couple of months to get the next season prepped. We'll release a couple of bonus episodes in the middle there. We have a Monty backstory episode to share with you guys, and we have a couple of other things that we're going to sprinkle in there. We're going to do another Behind the Mask. We will announce all of that on our Discord, which is linked in the description, and also on our Twitter. So make sure you're following us there, because we love to talk to you guys. If you like this, you'll probably be interested in the other great projects on the Nerdification Media Network. We have the Write Anything podcast, a Phoenix Wright-themed podcast, where they talk about each game's case in retrospective. I was on a recent episode or upcoming episode. I'm not positive if it's out yet. I have to go check. But we also have another actual play podcast. If you are missing D&D actual play while we are on break, starting after next week's episodes, we have Dwarf Stars and Dreadnoughts, and they have a 50 or 60 episode backlog for you guys to dig into, so enjoy that while we are on break. You can check out our site at nerdification.media to find out more. So we don't have any plugs this week, but we do have a lot of original music in the second half of this episode, so I'm going to go through our music credits. So the opening and previously on are Kevin MacLeod's Dreamlike, and then Thomas Hart and Diana Paparazzi's Threads of Fate. Our mid-roll is Kevin MacLeod's Dreamlike, and this week our ending theme is also Threads of Fate, but it is one of the vocal versions. It is not the entire song, but it is most of it. We also have coming up in the second half of this episode, I believe it's called Son of Magic by Julia Heslin. It's Monty's theme. You might remember it from episode 0. And we also have Kindler's Gambit by Sarah Shope. It's her first contribution to the music, and it's really incredible. I hope you guys will like it. It's towards the end, so definitely stick around for that. As always, all of our music will be on the Patreon following the release of this episode, and I will make sure that everything from Season 1 so far is uploaded there, except Threads of Fate, which is available on our website, nerdification.media. There is a mailing list you can sign up for to get a free MP3 of that. So, with that, I'm going to let you guys get back into the episode. Thank you so much for stopping by.
So Prika, currently left at the table is Bartholomew, Huron, who you've not met, but he's a human, hard-edged, wizard-looking dude. There is Elaine von Teppler, and there is Osiris.
Okay. You know who I want to talk to.
Bartholomew Huron, he's got kind of a vibe around him. Like a vibe.
Yeah,
No.
Brika's gonna approach Osiris.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Okay. What you got?
Hi there. Good evening. Brika Cha, pleasure to make your acquaintance. And she offers her hand.
She kind of blinks that someone's talking to her, like a little, just kind of like, and she turns, and you can see sort of like the manners click back on in her head, and she goes, "Greetings, Miss Cha. You may call me Osiris."
So, I can't help but notice you,
You notice in the boy.
you're sort of, directing your attention in a very specific direction.
Toward my young ward.
She nods and she says, "Yes, it is. He is quite the dancer. It's been some time since I've seen someone dance like that. It reminded me of something."
You don't say.
Pardon, I am, my mind is somewhere else. What may I do for you, Miss Cha?
Mostly I just wanted to get to know you. I've seen you around, thought I'd say hello. I don't know if that's the most appropriate thing to do in this situation. Everyone else seems to be dancing, but I don't really dance, so...
Hey, that's not stopping Reagan and Rufus.
That is fair. I have never been one for dancing myself. Teaching is one thing, but dancing in public has never been my strong suit nor my passion. Would you like to sit down?
So I guess Brika's gonna
Gonna have to jump.
pull up a chair at the Von
No,
Teppler
there's an empty chair next to her.
Okay. So yeah, she's gonna sit down and ask, if you don't mind me asking, where are you from?
I am from a place very far away. It would not be inaccurate to say it is worlds away, I suppose. I am simply here on some business I have to take care of.
Obviously, I am not from around here either.
No, you are not. That is the what is that accent? Sedani?
Yes, Sedani.
Very good. It's been many years since I was in the deserts of Sudan. Beautiful place.
Oh, yes, it's lovely. Until it's a little confined by comparison.
To say the least. But when you know where you must be, we often make compromises for it. No?
Definitely.
What brings you here, Miss Cha? To the city, that is. It is a far cry from Sudan, but surely you must have business here?
Not so much business. Initially, I just came to see the sights. But, I found myself staying longer than anticipated.
I know that feeling very well. I thought that this would be the end of my journey, but it seems not quite another dead end, but it is difficult to say. The nature of my business is confidential, but
Well, I know it is not in the nature of people here to confide in one another, per se, but perhaps I could help you with whatever it is you're trying to achieve in the city.
Rika-cha is known to be discreet.
I certainly appreciate that. But I do believe that I would need to. I would need to know you a bit better than a simple conversation, Miss Cha.
You got a background check form, she will sign off.
That's fair, that's fair. To be perfectly honest, I think I might know a bit more about you than I ought to. It's still not much, but at the very least I've heard your name before.
From where?
A friend.
This friend. Are they here in the city?
That would be telling.
Well, that depends. What business might you have with a friend of mine who knows who you are?
Cyrus's body language kind of changes.
Does this count as a mom fight now?
I'm not really sure. It's more of a mom spar right now. But we're going to fight territory. She just kind of her body language just changes. She sort of tenses a little bit, and she says, "It would appear that you did not simply wish to get to know me, Miss Cha."
I have only heard a little bit about you. And do not misunderstand. I mean you no harm. I wish you no ill. I'm just interested in what it is you're trying to do. Because I want to protect someone.
She nods slightly at that, and she says,
As am I. The person that I am seeking is a... At first, I thought that she had escaped. Sort of a run off, or been kidnapped, if you would. It has been some time, but more and more as I have followed the trail, it has become apparent that she was not kidnapped. That she left seemingly of her own accord, which was... She's very special. And she is someone who must be protected above all else. But I cannot protect her. I cannot do that if I do not know where she is.
Tell me, what do you plan to do when you find her?
Simply wish for her to become the person she was always meant to be. I wish there was more I could say on this matter, but it would not be an overstatement to say that many lives depend on her becoming who she was meant to be.
Interesting. What if I perhaps had some information for you?
I hope you would, seeing as I gave you far more than I initially anticipated.
Yeah.
Rika has a way with words.
That seems to happen a lot when people talk to me.
She's so cute.
Listen, I understand, I think, where you're coming from. And I know you must be consumed with worry for this person. But, I could at least assure you that they're safe.
Give me a persuasion check on that.
By the way, how far is this conversation into the dance?
I think at this point the dance is ended.
So can Monty...
Monty, give me a perception check, Monty.
Okay.
Rick, what was your persuasion?
17.
17. Okay. Monty?
That's 14, unfortunately.
Okay. You see Osiris is talking to someone. You cannot see them because they are obscured by her, by her form.
Who is small enough to be obscured by Osiris?
Nobody but Brick Thrower, your local Goblin Union organizer.
I know we brought Brick with us.
Of course, it's a good place to put it from flyers.
Reinhardt's halfling friend, perhaps.
I did want to go over there and try and approach Osiris, but
well, let me. If you want to start walking over there now,
I will mosey.
Okay. So Brick, you got a 17. As you say to her, this person is safe. She seems to believe that, and you see a good chunk of the tension in her shoulders just kind of drain away. And she says, "That is good. It has been a long few years, and chasing shadows and phantom limbs is. Could you tell her that I would like to see her?"
I could absolutely deliver a message.
Tell her I am always here, should she need me, and that I love her very much.
Brika's gonna reach up and give Osiris a comforting pat on the hand.
She looks appreciative of that, genuinely so. She sort of realizes just sort of how quickly this conversation turns. She kind of blinks, reaches up a little claw and wipes away a tear, and she says, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did not think that would be I did not think that this would happen."
No, it's fine. Believe me, I understand.
I'm a mother too.
If she wishes to, she can contact me. I will be staying here at the Archduke's estate for the foreseeable future. If she would, if she would like to write me, if that is as far as she is comfortable going currently.
I am certain that this person misses you and wants to see you and speak with you again. But the situation being what it is, I think that this person is afraid, and with good reason. But I can certainly relay your very kind words.
She nods and she says,
You do not know me, Miss Shaw, but they have nothing to fear from me. She never has anything to fear from me.
That's good to know.
I think at this point, Monty, you've been kind of moseying, kind of moving back and forth between the people, kind of moseying forward,
Yeah.
And I think you are maybe 40 feet away when you kind of still in Osiris's blind spot, and you see her talking to Brika.
Yeah, really. I can relate.
Boy, my plan of attack has gone down the toilet. I had a plan.
Ethel walks by. Was it to kill her?
Jesus fuck.
Reagan, do you...
Is she nearby enough to see Monty? Because she did want to check up on him?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah. Monty did 2 dances and then got off the dance floor.
Okay, yeah, she's gonna kind of tap him on the shoulder, like, hey, you good?
Monty just kind of nods his head over at Rika and Cyrus.
And Reagan's like, huh, so that's the lady.
Sorry, who's what lady? Says Reagan, or says Rufus.
It's a long story. I'll tell you when we get back to the table. Or I won't. It's Monty's story to tell. Anyway, Monty, that's...
I'll tell you at the residence.
Okay.
That's a residence story, not a public story.
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
It seems like Rika's got it under control.
I want to talk to her though, but I can't.
Do you want us to go over there with you? I mean, she's not going to pull anything with this guy. And she just kind of gestures at Rufus, who is huge.
Rufus, I'm sorry to keep using you as like a prop in my intimidation attempts.
I just like having you nearby, but that's for personal reasons.
Huh. He kind of like smiles a little bit at that, like looking a little like just that kind of look up like, oh, that feels good.
Like, oh, she likes me. Yeah. God.
He's got to be reminded of that like once an hour of like
his short-term memory runs out.
Well, no, he just has short-term self-esteem loss.
It's like a hole in the bottom of the bucket. It just kind of slowly.
He has a
out.
-1 per hour on self-esteem, so Reagan's got to keep it at +2 or higher.
Yeah. For the net gain.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna go over there.
All right,
okay? Is it okay?
You want us to go with you? Because we're like scary looking.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know what? If you don't know, we'll just go with you. Because I'm a terrible...
Give me 10 feet and silence.
Sure.
10 feet, silence. Okay.
Rufus, you just want to just like dance in that vague area, just in front of the
That's really weird.
Well,
it's kind of far off the dance floor.
Well, that's a table.
Just jump on the table.
I mean,
do
it's
a
wanting
jig.
to dance on the table, but that seems
that's more
of a faux pas that you're willing to commit to.
Yeah, no, I think dancing on a table is and then suddenly the color drains from his face and he says, "Where's Kahlo?"
Oh.
Oh no.
And as if on cue, you hear a bird boy say, "Excuse me, everyone. Excuse me." And he is standing over, like, in front of the orchestra pit with his shawl. And he says, "Since we are all here, I believe that it is time for you to hear a song. A real one, not whatever this is. This is not music."
Rufus, do you want to go stop that?
He goes, oh no. Look, are you...
I'm good, go. Save everyone else. I sacrificed myself.
He just starts moving as the first warbling shitty notes begin to play. And Kahlo got a 4 on his performance check.
Yay!
And just the pain begins anew.
Reagan just grits through it like, yes, this is real music. Oh god. Constitution saving throw.
So, Reagan and Monty, how are y'all doing this? How y'all approaching this situation?
Well, if he wants a radius, she'll give him a radius. Like,
just hang back a little bit.
Is there anywhere over there she could go and just, like, I don't know, like, eat all of the hors d'oeuvres or something? Just, like, be...
Stand somewhere sipping a cider.
There's places that you can, like, keep yourself kind of sequestered without drawing too much attention.
Okay, yeah, she's gonna go do that, and she's also gonna just keep an eye on the room in general. You know, one eye on the Gorings, one eye on Monty.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So, Brika, as that sort of last little exchange happens, suddenly the announcement comes from the bird, and you look over, and you see Monty approaching.
Oh! Brika just full-on smiles at him. Because she's genuinely happy to see him.
It helps.
Oh! Hello, Montague.
Brika, I was wondering where you'd wandered off to.
Well, wonder no longer, I am right here.
And, Monty turns to Osiris. Ladies Osiris, correct? I believe we met earlier.
Yes, in passing. I must say that I have not seen a book of that make in some time. An Arcane Arsenal, is it?
Mine's called the Arcana Armada, but...
Yes, the broad strokes of it are offensively based magic evocations, yes?
I do prefer evocation, yes.
Yes. I have not seen one of those in some time. I am sorry to hear about your misfortune in the duel. Bloody business tours. I have no patience for them myself.
Yes, I'm not fond of them. I would hope to never do one again, but it is what it is. I actually believe that everything is going to be fine in that situation now. I think we have come to an agreement of some kind.
Brika is looking between Osiris and Monty like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me
Brika,
right now?
Brika, don't do this to me.
Are you doing this to me, Brika?
Osiris, she just kind of says, "Pardon me, what was your name again?"
Montague Pensmith. My friends call me Monty. And there's something about the way he says it that he almost doesn't want to be saying it for the first time.
She nods slowly at that and she says, "How long have you been in the city, Monty?"
Oh, in Hintilla. Actually, Andrew, how long has it been? I don't know now.
Around 7 months now. Around 7 months now.
Okay. Little over half a year. It's been quite an adventure, honestly, the city.
How have you found it?
A little more backstabby than I had hoped. But I'm surprised to say that I think I'm making some friends. I of course, Brika is one of my closest confidants.
Brika waves. It's me. It's me.
She nods at that and she says, "You certainly seem to be making a name for yourself here."
Oh God, that sound in her voice, I can't do it. Yes, I am making a name for myself.
Brika's looking at Monty very pointedly. Like,
She says, "That's good."
Hold on. I'm gonna do a Diana. And I'm going to roll for it.
Oh, man.
Roll for Monty's restraint.
He doesn't have it. That was a 3.
Okay.
I'm so glad to see you're well, Osiris.
Up until this point, it was barely maintained.
Yeah.
And then just tears start streaming down her cheeks.
Oh no, please. Do you even have a handkerchief that's not bloodstained?
You got that
Fine,
prestidigitation.
yeah.
I've got a cape, but it's dirty.
She pulls. You don't have prestidigitation in somebody's eyes. That's weird.
Yeah,
No,
no,
like the cape.
no. Monty does have a handkerchief. I know he does.
She can clean the things that are dirty.
Yeah, he pulls it out, and it's fine. Don't worry. It was more of a joke than anything. But he immediately offers it to her, and kind of sits in one of the chairs, kind of next to her.
She takes it and she just her voice lowers and she says, I looked for you. I thought someone had. You were just gone, and no one. I didn't know if you were if you were alive. Or if...
Sorry.
Look at you. Look at you. You're so handsome.
Monty is gonna start crying here in a second, too.
Reagan's gonna grab Monty's hand.
Everyone's crying.
Everyone's crying.
Reagan just walks over and just like, it just looks so bad.
She's standing in the corner, she's just watching.
They're all crying. Gross.
Feelings are gross.
Cyrus, she just kind of like it takes your hand and clasps it in hers, and she just says, "You look just like her."
Like Mom?
Yes. The eyes especially. The hair. It was always so wild. She never knew what to do with it. This is more functional, I think.
Once you cut it all off, it's you can't quite go back. It's so much lighter.
Yes. I don't quite know that feeling myself because
Yeah, that's fair.
You're okay, yes?
Yes. I'm
Doing extremely well, actually.
pretty
Let me pull out his report cards.
No, I just, I'm being honest. I'm being serious, Monty. He's doing so well.
Glad. She certainly seems to be taken with you. Lynn, she won't stop
Lynn.
talking about you. I didn't realize until tonight that it was... She's very fond of you.
very, very fond of her. But I'm afraid too. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have left you the way I did. But I don't know, is it better to ask for forgiveness than permission at this point?
I'm not entirely sure. Your mother was the same. Your mother, she was the same way. She would just go off, and she was wild. She was free. I didn't realize how much of her was in you.
What did you think at first I took after my father?
No,
But both of them know. Monty has no idea who that is.
you were just you. And that was enough.
Thing is that I don't think Angelique was who I am. I originally picked... I shouldn't be talking about this here. Everybody's listening. I don't want to...
Is Elaine just sitting 2 seats down, just like sipping?
Yeah, hey, what's up, Elaine?
Actually, like, as soon as Monty showed up and things started to get like kind of teary-eyed, like Elaine kind of glanced over at Bartholomew, and she just stood up and walked away. And Bartholomew, he kind of followed suit, but as he did, you saw him like just behind his back, like gesture. You didn't probably notice this, Monty, but Brika, I think you did. He just gestured like 3 curt hand gestures, and there was like some small, like very like low glow of energy really quickly.
I shouldn't talk about it here. Since I've apparently made a name for myself tonight.
Well, you certainly did. A duel, the first dance with the Archduke's daughter. People are talking, Auntie.
I like it when you call me that. I like it when I hear you say my name.
It's like you said. It's the name you made for yourself.
Yeah. We should probably talk more. Maybe not in the middle of a masquerade.
Yes, I agree. But before you go,
She reaches into her coat pocket and she pulls out a small, like pocket-sized music box.
and she says, "No, I wanted you to have this."
From when I was a little kid, right? Monty doesn't actually know what that does. Andrew.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
She just kind of, there is like a flicker of pain in her eyes, and she says,
Yes, it is not working currently. Will need to be repaired, but we can talk more about that later.
Right.
Look at
You
you.
okay?
I'm
For what it's worth, Monty is definitely like teary-eyed now. So
yeah, for sure. And she just says,
This makes sense as to why all these crying spells failed. I was not looking for Montague Pensmith.
It's funny. I hadn't even thought of that.
Clever as you are. It's always you, though. You were clever even when you didn't mean to be.
It sounds like me, doesn't it? Thank you. Thank you. And he does tuck the music box away into his pocket.
she
Like his breast pocket. Like
yeah. She still has one of your hands in hers, and she like gives it just a squeeze, and she says,
I'm so glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you too. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't. We can apologize to each other all we want later.
Okay.
Tonight you are simply Montague Pensmith, who is making the rounds and socializing.
Yes. I am doing that. Before I leave, Monty kind of like looks over to Reagan and kind of tries to nod her over.
Cool. She will come over.
You met Rika, but I wanted you to meet my other good friend. This is Lady Reagan Kayam.
Just Reagan's fine.
Cyrus sort of stands, and she offers like a little bow, and she says,
Pleasure to meet you. I am Sir Cyrus. Apparently you knew that as well.
I know who you are. Nice to meet you. She kind of like looks at Monty like a little like, that's the right answer, right? All I saw
Monty
was that I
nods.
started crying, and then you told me to come over.
Crying is bad, too.
By the way, Andrew,
yeah.
since Reagan was far away, could she hear any of that?
No, right? No,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I think she wanted to give you some
Well,
privacy.
I mean from the standpoint of a silent spell, but
Well, that's what's interesting.
We'll get into that in a minute once this
Okay.
little scene is over.
Mm.
Once the scene is over, we'll get into that.
okay.
But
Sir Cyrus says, I'm glad that Monty has such good friends.
Yeah, he does. He's a good kid.
The best.
That's the second time someone said that to me today. Rika's gonna stand up with Monty, like tug him up, like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, let's go.
Okay, we're done. Conversation is over? Okay.
Let us go. We will pretend like the nobles do. She does this funny little shimmy. Oh,
somewhere
no,
Hortensia
everything's
just starts
fine.
shimmying as well. She's like,
Let's- We're having
Sympathetic
party.
shimmies.
I love Rika.
Except I'm over here, instead of doing the shimmy, I can't quite do it right. I'm over here doing like the Ursula body language gesture. Body language.
you all walk, like kind of begin to walk away, and once you break like 10 feet, you look back and you see just for like a half a second, you see what looks to be the illusory forms of you three and Osiris, apparently just having a normal conversation, and then something just like flickers and like it kind of like there's like a stutter, and then like you're there, like you're like they stutter out.
Okay.
Interesting. Is Kahlo still playing?
Bartholomew's a bro.
So well, let's see how Rufus is doing with his stop Kahlo check.
Yeah.
Stop collar checks.
So Kahlo has apparently been climbing like the pillars
Oh no.
while playing like one handed like scrambling all over Rufus.
You
Like
cannot stop
while
my
Rufus has
music,
been
father.
climbing up. He's literally that. And Rufus is just like Rufus is like trying to get the bird down, and it is a thing where everyone's kind of just like, okay, well, like they did save us all, so we have to put up with
this. Reagan's gonna
but like
go off that way. I feel like
Reagan, as you splinter off, let me check something real quick.
okay. I mean, she's
In
just
my-
kind of like gonna go
In my
be like, just let it
secret
play.
notes. My secret notes.
Secret notes.
I'm currently
While Andrew checks his secret notes, I want to put out that as they're leaving the table, Brika's gonna, nudge Monty and be like, "This is what you were so afraid of? She's lovely.
Such a nice lady.
She's a very nice person."
I think I really hurt her.
Oh.
And there's a lot to unpack there.
And it will all get unpacked in due time.
I suppose so.
Yes. Perfect.
Reagan,
Me.
as you are walking, you hear a voice whispering into your ear,
Like in
Says-
like in real life or like message whisper.
like message whisper. And you hear a voice that you haven't heard in a while say, "So, what's the hammer doing this far south?"
Dun dun! So it's a voice she hasn't heard in a while. Hold on, let me get my
Oh,
notes
shit.
here. Which one of her friends knew message?
Lara and Rhea. This sounds like Rhea, but it's a little hard to tell. It's almost like the voice is like kind of masked.
Okay, Reagan's kind of gonna like stop short, like, because Reagan has no subtlety, and she's just gonna start like scanning the room. And in the message return, Rhea, what the hell are you doing here? Where are you? Are you you're here?
You hear like a little chuckle, and the voice responds, "You never did look up." And you see up on the third ring of balconies, you see a figure wearing that mask.
Okay, she makes eye contact with that figure and doesn't move yet. I don't know if she's like in the middle of where people are trying to walk or anything, but she's kind of holding eye contact. And just, how many of you are here? Is it just you?
Oh, come on now, Hammer. You know we don't give information to the enemy.
The enemy? Ray, what are you talking about? Stay there. I'm coming. This is I'm gonna come talk to you there. And she's gonna try to make her way up there, I guess, without telling anyone. She's very
Well, you had already split off to go to
yeah. She'd already split off that way, and then halfway there. Actually, will Reagan be passing by the goring table on her way up there?
Yeah, I think so. If it'll take you a little out of the way, but like it's doable.
Okay, she's gonna do that.
Okay, what are you doing at the goring table?
Who's there?
You pass by. Julius is there. Claudia is off dancing, and there is a young nobleman who is approaching. Currently, it looks like he's like asking Ellie to dance.
Okay, she's gonna tap Julius on the shoulder.
He goes, "Yes."
She's gonna kind of gesture for him to follow
Reagan.
her for a second.
His eyes kind of narrow a bit, but he just nods and follows behind.
She's gonna find somewhere, one of the more discreet corners.
Mm-hmm.
And once they're there, someone is here. Remember the masked martyr, the masks?
Mm-hmm.
There's people here who I used to run with, and they are probably approximately as, bad at controlling their impulses as I was 6 months ago. And they seem mad at me. I'm gonna go talk to them, make sure nothing happens to you or my sister or any of my friends.
Do you need me to go with you?
I don't think that's a good idea.
I can take care of myself, Reagan. I can be a help to you.
No, I'm not worried about you. I'm gonna try to figure out what's going on and see if I can, I don't know, can you make sure my friends know where I am? And she kind of gestures her head back up towards the balcony,
he nods and he says, "I'll send word."
Yeah, thanks. Actually,
Reagan.
Yeah.
He pulls out the bead again.
Yep, that is exactly what I was. Julius, you and me on the same page. And she takes it and pockets it again and says, "Thanks. I owe you, not one. I owe you a lot of things."
He shakes his head and he says, "No, you don't."
Well, you're good people, Julius.
His mouth kind of quirks up at that and he says, "If you say so."
Well, I do. So there. All right, I'm gonna go deal with this, I guess.
Okay. So you begin going upstairs. I think by the time that you reach that balcony, word would have gotten to Monty and Brika. I think that's a fair timeline.
And Julius is good at his job.
Yeah, he knows how to use servants. He knows to tip them well, so they move faster. So, Reagan, you climb up the stairs, the second level, which has those sort of seen and unseen balconies, little alcoves. You pass by a couple, there's one where two older men are discussing some kind of merger deal, it sounds like, and you just kind of brush past them. Then there is another one who you just kind of you just blow past these two young noble ladies who are kind of who are kind of necking in there, and they just sort of immediately and then just disappear. Eventually, you come to the top of the stairs, and you see that figure sort of standing there, and it's taller than Rhea was, and the figure looks like it's hard to make out any real defining physical characteristics because they're dressed in this very kind of matte black outfit that kind of garbs a lot of the features of the body, and the mask guards the face, and the voice that speaks to you is different from the one that spoke to you a moment ago, and it says, "So, here we are, in the belly of the beast. And here you are, Reagan Kayam. Here I thought you believed in the cause. A true believer. You don't recognize this voice, actually." Or the voice says, "So, what to make of you, Reagan Kayam?"
I'm sorry. Do I know you?
I suppose that...
Where's Breeze?
Breeze is around. I suppose if you had to call me anything, you could call me Spark. And that catches your eye. Spark was one of the... You never met them, but you know that Spark was one of the leaders of the kind of resistance group. Spark turns to face you, and you see, it's a pretty tall individual. They say, "So, here you are, dressed like them, walking with them, on the arm of their fucking champion. I dare say you've gone local, Hammer."
I do what I have to survive. You all should know that. But I'm not one of them. And she seems pretty
Really?
adamant about that.
Because from where I was looking, you walked into a room alone with Elaine von Teppler. And yet, both parties walked out unharmed.
Yeah, that's a long story. But,
I'm sure it is.
yeah.
But we've all got those, Hammer.
Yeah, I know. Spark, what are you all doing here? What are you planning to do?
What do we ever really plan, Reagan?
We planned a lot. I mean, I didn't personally, but...
But what did we ever really plan? Revenge. Righteous justice. They're all words. Right now, I think I'm more in the butcher's line of work these days.
Now, granted, Reagan, do you know how a butcher works? There's a whole mythology built up around them that they take cleavers and crunch through meat and bone, and that is true, but really, the point of a butcher is to salvage every piece of meat they can as they harvest the beast. I think I'll start tonight. Seems like a good night for it.
I would like to use the know your enemy thing during this conversation.
Sure.
And I would like to know the total levels, if they're higher or lower than Reagan's, because that's, you don't have to tell me the exact numbers.
They are higher.
They're higher? Okay, and AC?
Higher.
Higher than her normal 19?
Actually, no, not higher than 19.
Okay. Reagan, she's kind of looking back and forth between the downstairs area and Spark.
And at this point, Brika and Monty, if like y'all get word that Reagan, something's going down upstairs, 3rd floor, on that balcony.
I imagine they're visible up there.
Or Spark sort of stepped back.
Okay, I think Reagan is making a point to remain visible.
Yeah. Okay. So they can see. So you two can see Reagan up there. And I do think this is notable in that this is the first time Reagan has asked for backup.
Kind of.
Like, you asked him to go with you to Goring's estate, but like this is the first time, like, in the moment, it's like, okay, fucking get up here.
Yeah. So I think she's kind of looking back and forth, and this is awkward, you know.
Yeah.
You run into your old coworkers. And Reagan's gonna talk to Spark. There are people in this city worth protecting. I won't get in your way as long as you're not going to hurt them.
Spark kind of cocks their head
And goes, "You really believe that, don't you?"
Yes.
Whatever happened to the hammer? You hated them as much, if not more, than any of us.
I still hate the Von Tepplers. I still...
Is that why your boy was dancing with their daughter?
That wasn't... Their daughter had nothing to do with what happened to us.
You really believe that, don't you?
Yeah, she was like 10. It was 8 years ago.
Sin don't wash out that easy.
The sin...
It
Sins aren't
stains.
genetic. Jesus, what is with everybody? Sins aren't genetic, Spark. She had nothing to do with what her parents did.
Hammer. I guess that's not really your name anymore, though. What do they call you down here?
I'm just Reagan.
Alright. Reagan, then. I guess you've given up your claim to our cause. That's alright. He turns and he starts walking like away into the next like balcony because it's kind of ringed. He says, "You're gonna want to stay out of our way. Otherwise, no telling where your little friends will end up."
Spark, don't do that. If you walk away from me right now, I can't guarantee what's going to happen to you guys, and I don't...
They turn back. You can almost see the grin through the mask. You can't see, but you can almost feel it. As they say, "Ditto, kiddo." And they walk away. What do you do, Reagan?
Reagan goes back the way she came because she needs to make sure her gang, and she needs to tell Rufus what's about to happen because that's his job. He's the champion.
I think at this point, Monty and Breek are like y'all run each other on like the second staircase,
Okay.
like the second floor.
Come with me. I'll explain on the way. Is Rufus still over trying to get Kahlo down?
Kala finished the song and then he came down on his own.
Alright, she is heading that way, and she's gonna kind of nod to Julius if she manages to catch his eye, and like, kind of like, "Hey, come with me for a second."
He kind of nods and follows over.
Yeah, she needs the team.
Okay,
Okay,
team up. Everybody team up.
so she manages to huddle up the team.
Yeah.
God, she's conflicted at the moment, but anyway. So you all know my whole, like, Goffric, I wanted to kill the Von Tepplers and everything. Y'all know that about me.
Yes, you talk about it all the time.
Yeah, I wasn't the only one, obviously. There were a lot of us, and they're here, and they've infiltrated the servants, and I don't know what they're going to do, but people are going to die if we don't do something about it. And she looks, like, pained turning them in like this, but...
Didn't realize you were a snitch, Reagan.
Yeah, God. And, yeah, shit's gonna get real soon. I don't want them to get hurt, but she's kind of, like, weighing, like, you can see the math on what you can see of her face going by, like, which group do I choose to prioritize here?
Brika's gonna look around the team up here, meet Reagan's eyes, be like, your priority should be your sister.
Yeah.
Ignore everything else. I'm telling you right now, Reagan.
Reagan kind of looks at the group that's gathered, and they're going to kill as many nobles as they can.
Wait. What do we know about them? Do we know their numbers? And more importantly, do we know what they're planning? That's the question here.
No, I wasn't able...
For all we know, if we start evacuating people, that's part of it. Why else would they have... They contacted you, Reagan.
That's a good point. I don't know how many there are. I can tell you everything I know about the people I ran with. But... yeah, no, evacuating is probably... You're right. You're right. Fuck.
So, how do we know it's them?
Reagan, you're the first one to notice the mask. That agonized, weeping mask. And then you notice the second one. And then the third one. And as you watch, you realize that the servants, in order to serve dinner, have all donned these horrible, weeping masks. As they all come into the ballroom in perfect synchronization, the servants number easily over 100. More than enough for a few errant bodies to be lost in the crush. More than enough for a breeze, a bore, a quick, a shimmer, and a mourner. Kindling for a single spark comes south.
With a kindling on a spark, stranger things in the dark. Watch us with hidden eyes, rage against the dying light, till evil gives all the fight. We're gonna see through their lies.
Now from here your tale begins. Will you save this pit of sin? Can you cut the threads that guide you when they're tied so deep inside you?